Hey, this is Robert Clotworthy, and I am the next guest On Screen and Beyond.
On Screen and Beyond, an inside look into the entertainment world featuring interviews with people from the movie, TV, and music industry. And now, here's the host of On Screen and Beyond, Brian Zemrak.
Welcome to On Screen and Beyond. I'm your host, Brian Zemrak, and this is the show that brings you a celebrity guest each week from the movie, TV, or music industry. I thank you for stopping by, whether it's the first time you're joining us or if you've joined us many times over the years. As we roll along in season 19 of On Screen and Beyond, I want to thank you for your emails and that you've sent, and you can do that at feedback@onscreenandbeyond.com, and your comments on YouTube. It's always fun to hear what you think, and if you have a suggestion or anything like that. So please keep them coming. And please take time to look over our 760 past shows. Okay, we have more than that too, but just to give you a rough ballpark. And you can watch or listen to them. The past, 70, I think, have been done as videos. And we have a few in our archives that we're going to turn around and release for the video people. And also, we have 760 something shows that you can go back and listen to, too, on our podcast that started back in 2007. So a lot of great people that we've had over the years, including Albert Hammond, It Never Rains in Southern California, Ted Nugent, Mark Farner of Grand Funk Railroad, and also Peter Tork of the Monkees, and from the music world, of course, and Mark Cuban of Shark Tank and the Mavs, of course, and also Fran Tarkenton, football star and boxing great Ray Boom Boom Mancini from the sports world, and also Andy Potts from Ghostbusters, Young Sheldon, Bob Barker, Mickey Rooney, and all of those. It's been a great ride here, and we thank all those people for sharing with us. A lot of them have passed, or some of them have passed, I should say, and you're not going to hear them talk. So if you go back and listen to those episodes, you'll get to know those people a little bit better. So lots to enjoy. This week, Robert Clotworthy, narrator of Ancient Aliens and the Curse of Oak Island, is our guest. Once again, this is a never-released video of the interview I did with Robert, and I'm finally getting around to put out the video version, so I hope you'll enjoy this for people who are looking at the videos only. All of those who are listening to the audio portion, you possibly could hear this, but we've enhanced the audio on it and everything. So hopefully it is something, a little different for you. So let's get right into the interview. Robert Clotworthy, right here on Screen and Beyond. Our guest today on Screen and Beyond has been seen in The Big Bang Theory, Two and a Half Men, and the film American Sniper, but it's his voice he's most recognized for. He voiced Jim Raynor on the StarCraft video games, and he is the narrator for the popular show Ancient Aliens, The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, and, of course, The Curse of Oak Island. It's Robert Clotworthy. Robert, welcome to On Screen and Beyond.
Oh, pleasure. Thank you, Brian, for having me on the show.
Robert, it's such a pleasure to have you here. Let's face it, your voice has become so much a part of popular TV. The Curse of Oak Island, from what I understand, is the biggest show on, is it streaming, correct?
No, on cable television on Tuesday nights. We're the I guess the most popular nonfiction series on television on Tuesday nights on cable. In other words, the only thing that beats us on cable is maybe an NBA game,
Right.
or if there's an election. Other than that, we have, I think, on average between 2.5 and 3 million people that tune in each and every Tuesday night to watch the show, which is amazing. Yeah.
And Ancient Aliens. It seems like you've been doing that forever.
We are in our, I guess, officially 19th season, which, since our seasons are a little bit different than years, I think it's our 14th or 15th year on the air, but 19 seasons now we've done. Oh my goodness. we're getting up to almost 250 episodes.
Whew,
Yeah,
geez.
so we're way up there. It's amazing.
And now you also do the intro for The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, I do the intro for that. Dr. Travis Taylor's on Ancient Aliens, and he is I guess the main guy on Skinwalker Ranch. And I'm so happy for him that the show has become as popular as it is. He's incredible, and the show is amazing. It's we're I don't know, somewhere in the universe, all the forces are aligning so that these shows that we're doing are incredibly popular, and they really strike a chord with the audience. And again, we are so fortunate and happy to be a part of it.
Voiceover actors would kill to have not one, but three shows.
That's why I'm in a bunker right now. I've got quite a security team out there protecting me, and their orders are if we are under attack, they're to protect my throat. So that's the don't let the voice box be damaged.
Right. Yeah.
How did you begin on these shows? We'll get to the earlier stuff in a bit.
It's interesting. If you go on IMDb, which is the Internet Movie Database, and look up my credits, I think it's going to be somewhere around, I don't know, 400 or 500 or something that are listed, and that's not even all of them. Yeah, I've been doing stuff since I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's been what, 10 years now.
But as far as Ancient Aliens, how did that start out? Did you have a cattle call, or how did that work?
No, I kind of joke. I say it's part of my one of the conditions of my parole. But actually, I've been working for the producer, the late great Kevin Burns, who was the creator of Ancient Aliens, Kurzfolk Island, and he had originally hired me. Oh my goodness, I think it was close to 18 years ago. I'm trying to remember what it was, to do a documentary about the making of the original Star Wars trilogy, episodes 4, 5, and 6. And it was going to be a 2-hour documentary that was part of the, I guess, first official DVD release. That tells you how far back it was. DVD release of that original trilogy. And we put together a 2-hour documentary where we brought in all the stars. I mean, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, you name it, Steven Spielberg. I think Barack Obama was on it. I mean, everyone who was anyone was part of this documentary. And I was lucky enough to be hired as the narrator of that documentary. It was called Empire of Dreams, ended up being nominated for an Emmy. And George Lucas was deeply involved in the making of this. He approved my voice to be the narrator of it. And from that, this production company, Prometheus, that I work with, he kept putting me on all these different documentaries that he was doing. He'd do one about Indiana Jones. He'd do another one about Batman. He did one about Valkyrie. I mean, it was all kinds of things that we did. And then eventually he contacted me, and Ancient Aliens started out as just a one-off, basically a 2-hour documentary that the History Channel ordered. And when Kevin Burns would discuss the evolution of how Ancient Aliens became the series that it is, it started out as just this 2-hour episode. And History Channel put it on all kinds of odd hours. It was on, Tuesday night at 3 a.m, Saturday afternoon, just strange times, but it found an audience. And so they would contact Kevin and say, listen, can we do another couple of episodes? They say, sure. And they would just order 2 or 3 at a time. And after, I guess, 7 or 8, he joked with them and he said, I'm running out of pyramids. What do you want me to do? They said, well, you're not going to do the show. He says, no, of course I'm going to do the show, but I'm just joking. And I say that because at the very beginning, we were struggling to find topics to do episodes about. And now you look at it 19 seasons later, and every day it seems that there's new information that's coming out that is totally in line with the show that we've done. So I just was there for the ride, got very, very lucky. I think there was something about my approach to the subject that really struck a chord with Kevin, and he was a great believer in going with his gut. And I prior to that, I'd done several documentaries, but nothing that was going to turn into a 19 season ride, and we're still going strong. So, in a nutshell, that's kind of how it all evolved.
Now, have you actually met these people, or are you stuck in your bunker all the time?
Those those talking heads, the ancient astronaut theorists.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Them.
I've met pretty much all of them. I've become very, very good friends with Giorgio. We used to, the first time we got together as a group was at the very first Alien Con, which was, I guess, around 10 plus years ago, up in Santa Clarita, California, and nobody had any idea as to the popularity of the show. And we were part of this convention that, to kind of hedge their bets. They also had like some monster memorabilia there. It was kind of a combo event because they had no idea if anybody was going to show up if it was just Ancient Aliens, and it shocked everyone how many people showed up. We had, at some of these panels, they had to, they plan on having maybe 50 people in a room that was watching, and we had thousands of people that would show up. And there was basically no security. When Georgia would walk through the room, it was as if, a major rock star, one of the Beatles, walked in. People were screaming and excited. And, since then, we've had these many conventions where everybody's there. I mean, Linda Moulton Howe is there, and David Childress, and Nick Pope, and Dr. Travis Taylor, and Giorgio, of course, Rabbi Ariel Bar-Sadoc, you name it. They're Dr. Travis Taylor, of course, Jason Martell, and we got to become very good friends from this. And we just had actually an Alien Con convention in April after a 3-year hiatus because of the COVID lockdowns, where we were all able to get together again, and the fans showed up. I'm actually going to be at Contact in the Desert in a few weeks, introducing some of the panels. I decided, you know what, I've never been, so I called up the promoter, and he said, please come on down. So I'll be there, and I know Linda's going to be there, and Jason's going to be there, Nick Pope is going to be there, Graham, oh my goodness, not Graham Hancock, that doesn't matter. We're a lot of us are going to be there. So yes, I'm good friends with many of them.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Skinwalker Ranch?
Skinwalker Ranch scares me.
It is weird.
I don't know. It's funny. At an Alien Con in LA, I guess it was 3 or 4 years ago, I was talking with Dr. Taylor, and he was, he had not yet gone to the ranch, and I'd heard stories about the crazy stuff that was happening there, and I knew that he was going to do the show, and I was wishing him well, and but he's going to live basically on the ranch in a trailer. Yeah. And I said, Travis, aren't you a little bit worried about being out there? And he goes, Robert, I'm a scientist, and if there's a spaceship out there, you think I don't want to find it? I want to be there. He has this amazing curiosity and this courage. He wants to. He's like Indiana Jones in that he wants to be the guy on the point that is the first guy in that's going to discover what's going on. So, but man, it's a freaky place, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and I know you can't say anything, but I'm sure you have taped all or most of the shows. But you can't say anything, and I understand that what's happening. But it's weird stuff.
Very weird stuff. And Travis Taylor is the real deal. He is a rocket scientist. At Alien Con, this last Alien Con, I asked him about his degrees. He's got, I think, 2 PhDs. He's got like 3 or 4 masters. He told me that he's about to get his 3rd PhD. So the guy is totally legit, and he's skeptical by nature. He's not one of those people that just believes because he wants to believe. No, you got to prove it to him. Mm-hmm. So when he's out there and when he's shocked by some of the things that are happening in Skinwalker Ranch, he's shocked from a position of knowledge, which is even scarier.
Yeah. And no matter which way you believe or not believe, there are strange things happening there. No matter what the cause, we don't know what it is, but it's just something odd is going on there.
Yeah.
Hi, Hi, I'm Bernadette Stannis. I played Thelma on the TV show Good Times, and I'm on screen and beyond.
What about Oak Island? Have you ever been to Oak Island?
Joke about Oak Island that they don't allow me to leave the studio. I'm basically in a cage, and every once in a while they'll toss in a bottle of water and a fresh script. Uh, I would like to be honest with you, I would really like to go up to Oak Island. I've been talking about it for a couple of years, and I said the first couple of years I don't think the craft services were so great up there, but now they tell me that they put out a nice spread. So I like that. But I would definitely love to go back there. I'd love to go hang with Billy and get into some kind of giant mechanical device and start working it and digging some holes. Yeah. I mean, come on, everybody. I think at heart, as a kid, we've all searched for treasure, and these guys are doing it, and they're doing it on a scale that we can only imagine.
Yeah.
When they bring in some of this heavy equipment, and I think now what they're in the oh my God, now I'm drawing a blank. The garden shaft, garden shaft, where they've actually put these. They've dug down and they've created like these where Rick can actually go into for the first time underground into the garden shaft. I mean, it's amazing. It's incredible.
And there again, you see people on the internet saying, there's nothing there. It's been taken away if there was anything. But at this point, something happened there. Regardless of what you think, it doesn't matter. They are not finding these old ancient things for nothing.
The producer would say, this is a story about searching for treasure. I mean, that's what it is. It's not a show about, we found treasure and now we're just going to show you how we found it. No, these guys are looking.
Yeah.
We're all on a ride with them. We don't know what the answer is, but man, don't they get some crazy clues, some weird stuff that pops up that defies explanation?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Something happened. There's a reason why for over 200 years, people have been looking on this one little island in Nova Scotia, whether the Knights Templar were involved or the Vikings or who the heck knows.
And the thing is, they're finding history.
Yes.
How they got there, if someone just dropped them, say 50 years ago, that's pretty doubtful.
I can't imagine that, somebody in 1960 is walking around with a Templar cross from 1000 and just, oh, wow, like, you know where my Templar cross is?
Right.
Well, last time I saw it, it was on lot 11 in Oak Island, but I must have slipped out of my breeches.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
And you have a heck of a job because you know what's gone on this year.
Well, I have a little bit of a heads up, but I don't get the scripts in advance. When I show up on the in this recording studio, that's the first time I see the script, because I want to be excited. I want to be intrigued. I want my gut reaction as to how I'm reacting to what I'm reading to affect me. And when I, for example, talk about Rick going down into the garden shaft for the first time, I'm thinking, this is so cool. I mean, I say it out loud. I say, this is really cool. He must have been so excited because this was something he dreamed about since he was a little kid. And they're going, yeah, man, the guy was going nuts about how exciting this was. So how can you not be, as an actor, you want to be able to convey the truth. And my truth was my reaction to how wonderful and exciting, and I was happy for him to be able to achieve this. And my job at that point is just tell the story.
Yeah.
And get out of the way. Tell the story and get out of the way.
It's funny. I've been watching the show since the first episode when they started, but I always had an interest in the story because I grew up relatively not far from there. But I remember reading the article, and it may have been in Reader's Digest, but it seems to me when we were kids, there was a Highlight magazine, I think.
Highlights,
and I think that's where I saw the story. Of course, Reader's Digest published it first, but they sort of, Highlight used to redo the stories and things like that. And I'm almost positive that's where I read it in highlight. But that was a long time ago. It's always intrigued me, and now someone is now again putting money into it, big money.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
and why is there a stone road that's there? What the heck is that all about?
yeah,
Come on,
those,
those rocks just didn't, assemble there out of nowhere. Somebody had to place them, and which means they had a purpose. They had there's a reason why they did all this stuff.
yeah,
And so you're trying to discover what was going on, what's there now, and just the fact that they're getting all these, this all these scientific tests are showing that there's gold, there's silver. What the heck is that? It's got to be coming from somewhere.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And you say the stone roads. If in the 1700s the English were there and they were, just fixing ships there, uh, they're not going to take the time to build that type of thing. Roads like that, the labor alone would take a long time, and there's no reason for it.
It's not even a big island; it's a small island amongst a bunch of other islands. What?
yeah.
It's a great show because they are on a ride, and you and we are all on the ride with them. It's a real adventure.
Yeah, the relationship that the brothers have, yeah, I think is really quite unique. You know that they love one another. They have different personalities. They sometimes argue, but they have a purpose here, and they're also looking at it. There's a business aspect to it as well, because it's not just two guys living their dream. Let's go search for treasure. Uh, Rick may have more of an emotional connection because this is something he's dreamed about since he was a little kid. But Marty's a little bit more pragmatic. He says, okay, if we're going to do this, we got to do it right. We have to have a budget. We have to, make sure that we are organized and plan well as to what we're going to do. And it's fascinating to see how that all works. And then you put together all the members of the Fellowship of the Dig and how everyone works together. It's really a good, I think, template for how people need to, if they have a goal, how they can work together to hopefully achieve it. It doesn't mean that you're going to win every single time. There's a lot of disappointment that's associated with it. But at the same time, do you give up? No.
Mhm.
These people are explorers.
Yep.
And, if you left if you were an explorer in the 1600s and you're at sea for 2 weeks, do you go, you know what? I don't think there's anything out there. It's just a lot of water. Let's head back. Well, some people did that. But the people that had the courage and the determination, they said, you know what? We don't know what's around the corner. We don't know what's beyond the horizon. Let's find out. Let's discover. And this is what they're doing, on a scale that we can only dream of. And it connects to this, I think, primal I guess emotion that we have as humans, where we want to know what the answers are. We're curious. And we know that what Rick and Marty are doing, they're genuinely trying to do something. This is not just a show just to bring in viewers and, we don't care. No, they really, really, really care.
Mhm.
I was speaking to one of the producers the other day, and he said that these last couple of years, especially this last season, that the entire team there is so excited about what they've discovered. They're truly not disappointed. Maybe, I know there were a couple of seasons where they went, oh my goodness, this is getting frustrating, but now they really feel they're onto something. And that excitement has given them another burst of energy that I think is really uh, showing up in the episodes that are airing. You see that there's this new energy, excitement, and passion that they have, and they're gonna, if something's there, they're gonna discover what it is. That's for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, and they keep saying that this could change history.
Mhm.
And it's true. I mean,
Yeah,
Not necessarily they're going to find out what people think is down there, but it could show that someone was there before Columbus, which we've actually seen now that the Vikings. So who knows?
if they find the Ark of the Covenant, we should treat it as if it was the Stanley Cup, that everybody that's involved in the show gets to keep it for a day and you know, take it around town, whatever they want to do. Just, put it on the dining room table and have dinner around it. But we'll see.
And the other thing is, once they find something down there, the question is, how do they get it up? Depending on the size of it, are you going to take it out in pieces? I don't think they want to do that, I'm sure.
Hey, this is Barry Livingston. I'm on Screen and Beyond.
What if they found an alien spacecraft down there? All of a
Oh,
sudden,
no,
that would be the
that's
perfect,
Skinwalker. That's over at Skinwalker.
perfect connect. All the aliens, Skinwalker, Oak Island, they all come together.
Yeah, good point. And you wonder if someone took this much time to put something down there, maybe they didn't want it to come back.
Whoa, that's a good theory. Oh my goodness, right. I was going to say with the Ark of the Covenant, you certainly don't want to open that lid unless you want your face to melt and your
Right.
eyeballs to pop out of your skull. So maybe that's it. Maybe there's danger.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
I
you
like
can't-
that.
You can't really tell. Whatever it is, it's a fascinating show to watch.
Oh, that's-
But now, as far as you, of course, you're a big part of the show or these shows, and you're all through them. How did you begin in this business? Way back as a kid, is this what you wanted to be, or an actor, or what?
Yeah, my father was he worked in advertising. He was a producer of radio commercials when I was growing up, and he would bring me down to the studio when I was a little kid, and I would see, I guess, the voice stars of my childhood all working and doing these different radio commercials, whether it was Jerry Stiller and Ann Mira, or Dawes Butler, or June Foray.
Yeah, June Foray was a guest on my show in the past.
Oh, June was?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. She was so wonderful. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
yeah.
I mean, she passed away with like 102, 103. I mean, she blessed us for a lot of years. And she was, for people who don't know, she was the voice of Rocky and Rocky and Bullwinkle. She was everything. In fact, people would call her the female Mel Blanc.
Exactly.
And Mel Blanc actually said, no. I am the male version of June Foray, because she was so talented. So I would see these amazing people work, and it was magic for me. And I was always I guess a pretty precocious kid, and wanted to get into the business. And finally, my father, when I was 15, relented and introduced me to a couple of casting people that he knew. And they then suggested that I meet with an agent who handled young people at that time. His agency was a fellow named Don Schwartz, and his specialty was young people, and from 6 years old to 21, 22. And he had a workshop here in Hollywood on Melrose Avenue. I remember it was called the Horseshoe Theater at that time, because it was in a kind of a horseshoe shape, the stage was. And I went there on a Saturday afternoon, and there were all these kids there, all these young people, and they were taking mime classes, and they were doing improvisation, and taking dance, doing all kinds of stuff there. And I was put into a group of kids, and we just did some improvisations up on stage. We were just playing around. And I guess the agent was impressed enough by my antics. I don't remember doing anything super amazing. I remember, it's crazy. The one thing I remember is they said they wanted me to be a snake or something, and I put my fingers like this, like they were fangs, out of my mouth. And I don't know why I remember that. It was just kind of silly, and slithering around on the floor and doing that. And he came up to me later on, and he said, "Listen, I'd be really interested in handling you as an agent." And I said, "Well, I don't know what that means, but talk to my dad." And so we signed with him. And the first commercial audition I went on, I booked. The third one I booked. The fifth one I booked. I mean, I just started booking right away, which was really very, very fortunate, because I had no idea what I was doing. But I was doing whatever I was doing it well enough that they were going to hire me. And he also had a theatrical department. So I started working on all those shows in the early 70s, the Rockford Files, the Waltons, MASH, Emergency, Policewoman, Police. I mean, all these shows. And, I started building up a resume and doing stuff, but there was always this burning desire within me to do more voice work, because that was a thing that really, I fell in love with at the very first. And as a kid, a friend of mine had a 4-track, uh, uh, recorder, reel to reel. With 4 tracks was amazing because you could do 4 things as opposed to just one. And we would do, I would write little like radio type shows, and we would act them and we would record them, and it was a lot of fun. And then eventually, I would do voiceover periodically over the years, but I guess around 20 some odd years ago, I moved from one agency to another. And when you move to a new agency, it's like moving to a new town where you basically have the opportunity to reinvent yourself. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody's going to say you can't do this because they don't know what you can or can't do. And I thought, you know what? I want to put together a narration demo. As a kid, one of the things I used to love to do was read out loud. And I would challenge myself, if I could read a story out loud, having never read it before, could I have it make sense? Not knowing if there's a question mark at the end of the sentence, an exclamation point, who knows where the story is going to go. So I got the ability as a kid to kind of see the words with, out of my left eye, and then my right eye is going to kind of read ahead. So I know kind of where I'm going. It was a weird kind of a skill set that I was able to acquire. And it served me extremely well now that I've gone into to narration. So I put together this narration demo. And the first job that I got was that Star Wars documentary with Kevin Burns for George Lucas. And from there, it just started taking off, where I started working more and more. I'm incredibly blessed to work with this one company for all these years. And they put me on, hundreds and hundreds of shows. And the shows that we've done have been remarkably successful. To think that Ancient Aliens has gone 19 seasons. Oak Island, we're now just completing our 10th season. These things just don't happen. It just doesn't happen. Oak Island started out as, I think, 3 or 5 episodes. That was it.
Yeah.
But Kevin had this incredible gift where he just kind of knew what the audience wanted. And he just was able to tap into that in a very unique and special way. I remember people would ask him, why don't you have skeptics on on Ancient Aliens? And he said, well, that's not going to benefit the show. That might be interesting in a debate, but if I was, he would say, if I was doing a show about the nativity, why would I put on an atheist? It just doesn't make, it doesn't make sense for that.
Right.
They're just going to poo-poo everything and kind of knock it down. So, and we don't tell people this is the way that it is on Ancient Aliens. We just offer the evidence that's out there. We say this. We're not saying the Egyptians did this. The Egyptians said they did this. We're reading their hieroglyphs. The indigenous Americans. We're not saying they did this. They're saying their legends, their stories are saying that this is what happened. So we also respect the audience, and we say, you decide. You may say this is nonsense. That's okay. Other stuff you may go, maybe there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think we've been proven more right than wrong. Now that you have, Senate committees that are investigating UFOs, and money's being spent, and more those Tic Tac videos, more information is coming out that is just validating a lot of these theories.
Yeah.
What the truth is, we don't know, but we're searching.
Yeah.
And last year we took a cross-country trip in our camper and went to all of these ancient sites around the U.S. And we even have gone to Chichen Itza and you see these things, and it's like, that's incredible. You just can't imagine how they built these things. They did it somehow. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be able to do that today with the the equipment that we have, the tools that we have, and they were able to do it, before, the Bronze Age.
Right.
Giorgio's told me some of these. I think he was talking about Machu Picchu. It's like you can't even put a credit card, a piece
Yeah.
of paper in between. It's so finely done. It's beyond explanation.
Robert, I want to finish up with one final question, taking us away from Ancient Aliens, The Secret of Skywalker Ranch, and The Curse of Oak Island. But when you sit back and relax, what are your favorite TV shows now and of the past? And what's your favorite movies now and of the past? What do you enjoy?
Oh my goodness. Okay. I've never been asked that question. I'm watching, well, one of the favorite shows I like to watch since I was a kid is Formula One and Formula One racing. And I've been watching for the last several seasons F1 Drive to Survive. I believe it's on HBO, which is an amazing documentary series. I like watching Succession, which is interesting. I'm kind of eclectic in my tastes. I kind of go everywhere from the old classics to Casablanca to The Wizard of Oz to modern day movies. I enjoy watching Matrix movies and John Wick. I mean, I'm all over the place with this stuff. If it's entertaining, I'm there for it. I hope that answers the
Yeah.
question. It's
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting. I'm not as big a TV watcher as I used to be. I like watching sports, of course. So I'll tune in to watch big sporting events or the Dodger game or whatever that's going on. And I love to read. I still love to read. I
Yeah.
love to reid.
You must learn so much from just the shows that you were on, all the places around the world that they visit, and you have to talk about it.
If they throw you in a pool of water, you're going to get wet, right? I mean, there's no way I'm not going to be able to pick up some of the information. And like I said, I've become very good friends with Giorgio and had fascinating conversations with him. And the people that I've met on the show, some of the stories you can't deny. When people have firsthand experience and they're able to convey it, they have the credits, the credibility to say, that you can't really question it. And I'm also curious. I don't know what the answers are. I don't really know that I want to know what all the answers are. I like the journey. I like exploring. I like the questions. My favorite question in life is why.
Yeah.
Ever since I was a little kid, why? It may drive people crazy because I'm asking why. It's because I'm looking for the reason as to why certain things happen. And as long as I have that curiosity, I take it into the studio each and every day that I do one of the shows. I'm excited to see what's on the page, and I'm curious. Why are these things happening?
Robert, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story. It's been fascinating and hearing you talk and all the different things you've done, and it's just amazing. And I thank you so much for joining us.
Brian, a pleasure. Thank you so much.
There he is, Robert Clotworthy. We hear him on so many shows and movies. It's great to have him here join us. Be sure to share our posts when I post something, and it will help us get the word out about the show and actually help me get other guests on the show. So we appreciate it when you do that. You want to make a suggestion, send it to me at feedback@onscreen and beyond. I will have more guests coming your way, so I hope you'll be joining us each week. Until then, that's a wrap for this episode of On Screen and Beyond. So until next time, when we once again take you on screen and beyond, I'm Brian Zemrak. Take care.